Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A, where we go over all latest news that happened during the week in the world of tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, we've had some interesting articles come up this week. Nothing too big, but definitely some kind of interesting things going on in the world of tech. So let's get to the first one, and that is going to be the patents on Samsung's foldable designs. Now, like all patents, these might not ever see the light of day, as the article refers to, but these are patents that Samsung has created and probably at least has one or two ideas on how to make. So let's take a look at these. First one's a very interesting one, and then the following ones are possible smartphone designs that we could see someday. Now, the first one is very interesting because it's a really great concept for a car. For a steering wheel, it really is a smart idea to actually have a display in the areas that are not being used. You could actually have a touchscreen on there. You can have basically a clean dashboard and have everything you need on the wheel itself. So that's what this design is. So pretty interesting style there. The second one is something we have seen at CES, but to possibly put it into a mass production would be a really interesting concept, and that is a scrollable TV. So your TV basically folds up and you can take it with you then, or do whatever you want basically. It's really cool. And then you can scroll it out and actually have a full screen TV that could be a small style. So it's a really interesting concept when doing that. But yeah, I think it's really kind of interesting to make a very clean look. Like, people are going to be like, where's your TV? And you can just be like, boop, and then it just scrolls out and opens up. A smart wallet. Now, this is kind of interesting just because we are getting more and more to the digital era of wallets. There will be a time, probably within the next 50 years, where everything is primarily on a smartphone or possibly something like a smart wallet, which, yes, you have your credit cards, but basically they could all be digitized, and certain states are actually working on driver's license being tested digitally, and the cops know about it. The cops have ways to scan it, everything, but it's a really interesting concept to see that possibly go from a small state to something like a big state or a big population. And again, I definitely see this happening within the next 50 years, that everything from your ID to all of your credit card information will be on a smart device instead of in a physical form. I think this is what could happen, and this whole idea of a smart wallet is more and more interesting in that respect, because maybe it's just like all your credit cards in there, you scroll through your credit cards and then just tap a machine and pay, and that's it. Definitely an interesting concept. And then, of course, a foldable smartphone. So this is an idea of having a smartphone and basically folding it like this, and so it would be half of this size. Now, I don't think this one is too important, to be honest. I, quite frankly, would be not a big fan of this design, just because, yes, it makes it have a thinner design in terms of narrower, but other than that, not as much excitement for me on this design. Now, this one is a little bit more interesting, and this is a rumor for the Galaxy X. It will be the first foldable phone that comes out. With this one, it is basically a phone that can fold, kind of like the old clamshell flip phones we used to have back in the day. If you lived in the 90s, you probably had one of those, or a candy bar style. This is that kind of thing where it folds in. Now, quite frankly, I would only be interested in this if we can get a bigger display size out of it. So that when I open the phone up, I get maybe a 7-inch display or something along those lines. That would really interest me. And then when it folds in, maybe it's like a 3.5-inch display. That is a really interesting idea to me. I'm curious to see what you guys think, because can you imagine having like a 7-inch display for watching like your Netflix and everything like that? I mean, that is a tablet. That is literally a tablet, a 7-inch tablet. So that's pretty interesting. Let me know, what is your favorite design? What are you interested in with these foldable display technology and patents? Now, the next big thing is we have to talk about the iPhone 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 battery issues. Now the iPhone battery issues have been coming up more and more. There's been more and more coming out now, so it's really curious to see if this will subside, go away really quickly, or if it keeps happening as this has in the past couple of weeks. Now the reason why this is such an interesting battery issue is I'm going to let you in on a secret. One of the manufacturers of iPhone batteries is Samsung, but other manufacturers are standard Chinese manufacturers. Now, here's the thing. I don't believe, and I know a bunch of people are, as soon as I said that, were like, oh my god, Samsung's trying to mess with Apple's iPhones and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe it's the Samsung versions, to be honest, because if there's one manufacturer that is definitely serious about battery life now, is and what I mean by that is like the quality assurance of batteries, is Samsung. But these other Chinese manufacturers are some of the backup ones that Samsung had last year that still were having issues. So that being said, I think that's where this is coming from. I think that a few of them from that came from China in those manufacturers, I think this is what we're seeing from here. Now, if that was just a few that got let out from quality assurance, or if we begin to see more, that is a question that I'm very curious to see what that is. So really curious to hear your guys' thoughts. If we have 10 more of these happen in the next month, are you going to kind of be worried? Is this something we should even be more concerned for with the iPhone X when it comes out? Like, can you imagine if you wait in line for like, you know, a week for the iPhone X, get it, and then your battery would swell up? How pissed you would be. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. When should we stop worrying? Should we start worrying if if the swollen batteries get to 10 more? Right now I believe we're at 5 total from what I can remember. I think it's a total of 5 right now, maybe 5 or 6, but I don't think we've reached the 10 mark yet. I would say if it would be 10 more, it would start to be an interesting thing. Alright, now that being said, we also have talks about the iPhone X, and it looks like I was right about one thing, and I said that we would not get the iPhone X till next year for most users, and that is definitely looking more and more likely. Now, the current standing is that the iPhone X might not even hit its November launch. I do not believe that rumor. I do believe it will come out in November, but basically, if you don't pre-order it, like, stores will not have it. I do not believe at this point stores will have it on launch day. I believe if you have not pre-ordered it, you are not getting it on that date. And the people that did pre-order it on that date are only going to get a handful of them. They might be like a million to 5 million only, and that will be it. And the rest are going to be backordered. I don't even believe it'll be 5 million, to be honest. I believe it's more going to be between 1 and 2. The way that we're hearing reports come out of it for the month of November and December. Now that is really bad in terms of Apple supply and demand. Really right now, they need about 20 million probably for the demand, and we aren't going to see that, I believe, till March at the earliest. This is going to be a big, heavy issue for Apple in terms of supply. We are already hearing experts or analysts say, I don't buy analysts, by the way, I think they're full of shit most of the time, but analysts say that the real bad thing about this is that Apple can't be counted on to sell a lot of phones this holiday season, which is of course really bad if you're owner in Apple stock, because that is your money-making season. And if no one's interested in the iPhone 8, as we have seen, then that's really going to be a bad thing. I personally do think the iPhone 8 is dramatically underrated right now, especially the iPhone 8 Plus, and I'm going to do a video on why you should get it over the iPhone X, because I truly do believe you should. Alright, now speaking of foldable phones, we have another manufacturer putting their hat in the, putting their card in the hat, and that is coming from ZTE. Now ZTE could bring a phone called the ZTE Axon M as early as their announcement on the 17th of this month. Now we are waiting to see this, but basically this could be a 6.8-inch display went all the way out, but when you fold it in, it's going to be a much smaller device. Now, this is a really interesting concept. It's not the first type of phone we've seen with a kind of two-screen thing. Now, I don't consider this a foldable phone because we have seen phones like this before, and even tablets like this. Sony had a tablet like this back in the day. I want to call it the P, I think it was the Sony P tablet. I forgot what their Xperia P. No, I don't think they called it Xperia back in the day. But it was some kind of phone, or sorry, tablet, and it was the P series, and it had a flip kind of thing with two screens, and except the two screens were on the inside instead of this being the two screens on the outside. We also have seen this with Cosiera, I want to say, and was it called the Echo, I think, where they had two screens that came up. The problem with those kind of displays back in the day was that they were almost universally not supported by anything. So that was a really big issue that these kind of phones had. Now with this, the idea hopefully will be the fact that you don't need to really support it because it's just going to work natively since it's just two outside screens coming together. Hopefully they will realize that they should not treat this as two separate screens, but rather as one big screen. Now, if this does work, then we'll be excited for this from ZTE. From ZTE, we really haven't seen that much this year, and I'm excited for their ZTE Axon 8 more than this, to be honest, because ZTE Axon 7 is still the best smartphone for headphones and for speakers currently out, and it came out last year, and it is still better than any smartphone today if you count both of those things. If you count headphones, I think the V30 would be the best currently right now, but the Axon 7 was really close to that. Not only that, but it blew it away, every phone away when it comes to speakers. And finally, the last bit of news, Samsung did announce a mixed reality headset for Windows, and this was part of Windows' new launch of mixed reality. So a bunch of companies launched this. Asus, Acer, we have a lot of different ones. I think Dell came out with one. I don't believe HP did, but we have a lot of these coming out. Quite frankly, I don't know how good it's gonna be, but I bought one. So I bought one, they go at $500, so I bought one and it will come in at the beginning of November. So I'll be very curious to see how it works, how it is. I like that they have AKG headphones, so hopefully it's good sound quality, but I'm really interested to see what this really supports and what developers actually use it for. I did have an HTC Vive last year and I did sell it because really there was nothing more I could use for it. So because of that, I didn't really care for keeping it as much, and I ended up selling it. So curious to hear what you guys think. I don't know what Microsoft is trying to go by a mixed reality. Really, I feel this is just virtual reality with all these sensors being on the headset instead of being these sensors pointing at you. The sensors are just going outward. That's what I see it as, but let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious again to see what will be developed for it. Hopefully, if we have more development for it, that'll be exciting. But I wonder if in 2 or 3 months, I just might sell this again. Alright guys, that was the mobile news that we had for this week. Now if you have a question you would like to ask, just ask it in the comment section right now down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show as I drink from my Rigsby 116 cup. Merch store in the description. Actually, I will say this, if you are a coffee drinker, and if you ever ordered like a coffee cup from a merch store, it's usually this janky plastic on the outside. I do use a company called Redbubble for all my merch, but this is actual metal. So I really like that. I was impressed by that. I honestly, like, no lie, when I did realize that, I was like, oh shit, that's actually really cool. It's a coffee cup that I actually want to drink from just because it's a better quality. Alright. How did you get your apps in your folder to look like a slice of pie? I have Nova Launcher and I can't figure it out. So how did I get my apps to look like that? I do have Nova Launcher, so that is how my apps look like that. Let me see actually. Do I have Smart Switch? Let me pull it up for you. or no, not smart switch, side sync. Let me pull it up for you so I can show you on my screen. And while I get that set up, I will check on if anyone has any other questions. Any new Note 8 videos coming out? Yeah, we have some new cases for the Note 8 that currently working on right now. Let's see, do we have this here? There we go. Okay, so this is my screen, right? And you're asking how did I get my folders to look like this? So basically, nope. How do I pinch to zoom here? Oops, wrong one. Where are my Nova settings? Are they in here? Nope. Are they in here? Nope. Okay. I just do it by pinching to zoom, so let me do that. Alright. Now that we have that, so under look and feel, I get the folders. No, wait, not look and feel. Folders. So folders, I do circle for the animation part. Then for the folder style, I do grid. And then for the folder background, I do the pixel launcher one. So those are all the things I use to get the look of my folders. So yeah. But yeah, Note 8 videos, we have this one coming out, some accessory ones. So we're going to have the case that I just got for it, as well as what pretty cases are good for the Note 8. I got two that sparkle and glitter, as my wife says, for her. So I got to kind of see how it looked. And yeah, so that one will be coming out. What else though? I think that's all for right now that I can think of, but we'll have more as it comes out. Oh, I do have, so there is a fast wireless charger, like, so it's faster than the Samsung wireless charging pad from Belkin that has come out in the wake of Apple's release. And that one I'm going to see, does it charge the Note faster than the original wireless charger did? So I'm going to test that out and see. I'm very curious to see the results. What power bank do you recommend that has fast charging for my S8 Elite? Also worth a good price. Honestly, my favorite one is the one from Tilt. That is the one that I typically use. It's the only one I use now, just because it has a Type-C charger. It's called the 7X. Now this is a $100 power brick, so a lot of people are like, what the hell, that's way too expensive. But I can fast charge two things simultaneously. It has, what is it? Is it a 7,000? I think it's a 7,000 battery pack. But more importantly than that, it fast charges. So my biggest thing is, yes, you have to have fast charging on your battery packs, and you can get one like an Anki one, like the one we gave away for our giveaway. And look, those are great. I think that one's like 30 bucks or 40 bucks, or no, actually that one might be 50. But so you can get them for cheaper, but for me, you need fast charging as a must. I like the Tilt one, that's probably my favorite, but I would also just recommend getting the Samsung ones. The Samsung ones are going to charge it really quickly, and they're also good quality. So those would be my two. I'm sure there's going to be some people in the chat that says Anki or Anchor or one of those, and they're great, but just make sure whatever one you get fast charging. How was the motorcycle ride? Was it fun? Alright, so for those of you who didn't see it, and some of you can't see it, I actually did a video. I was at YouTube Space LA. So I go to YouTube Space LA, we go over classes, and I collab with all these different YouTubers, right? And it was a YouTube Live class. So we were testing out like, we had to get in a group and create a YouTube Live video, but it's supposed to be unlisted, right? So the first one we did unlisted, but they had given us this selfie stick with it. And the selfie stick, when you plugged it into the headphone jack, so like picture this being the selfie stick, when you plugged this into the headphone jack, it thought that the audio was a mic. So it would try to record audio through the selfie stick, which there was no audio. So the first video looked great. It recorded in 1080p. It was awesome. No sound whatsoever, which really sucked. So then we were like, shit, we still have time. Let's go and do it again. So we did it again. I was trying to get everything ready on the phone. And the second one, I forgot to put unlisted. So we actually went live and did it, and it was funny as hell. A lot of people laughed because of the fact that, one, I had never been on a motorcycle before ever, and two, neither did another girl, and and the third girl had been on a motorcycle. But so we went to people that had no experience to people that had the most experience, and it was a really interesting thing. We literally just went around the parking lot. But it was intense for me. As I said in the video, I hadn't been on a bike in like 10 years, let alone a motorcycle. So that was definitely different and kind of an interesting concept for me. I guess you kind of exercise bike, that's different, but still. Overall, it was a different kind of experience that was never supposed to be seen by anyone because it was just for a class that we were doing. But I think over 1,000 people end up seeing it because if you got the notification for it because you were a subscriber, you got to see it basically even after I made it unlisted. So yeah, that's what happened. And the reason why the quality looks so crappy on the one you guys can see is because of the fact that on that one, in YouTube Space LA, it's horrible signal there. Everyone is on Wi-Fi just to use their phones. And we were in the parking lot, so I just did LTE, which again, the first time was no problem because it actually wasn't streaming, but the second time, since it was streaming and that was the only way it captured it, it turned out the quality was really bad. So yeah, that's what happened with the motorcycle, and only a few of you got to see it. If you got to see it, you were one of the few. Alright. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. That shirt can be found on our store now. I keep hearing about the iPhone X delay. Battery life issue on iOS 11 is an issue. So battery life is an issue on iOS 11, yes. And honestly, this is I still have to do this tech rant video on updated software because of course it is. Look, iOS 11 is more of an issue, yes, but to be fair, it's always bad to upgrade the newest iOS on a 2-year-old phone, and that's where you're really hitting it. The 6 phone are the ones that are really messing up. The 6S is getting some issues, but nowhere near the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 is a 2-year-old phone, and it's having a lot of issues with that iOS 11, and the 5S and other ones way more issues. So the further back you get, the more the battery life issue is. My always advice is to never install the latest version of iOS on a 2-year-old phone because you're going to have bad results. That software is not made for that kind of hardware, and you can put it on there, but it's honestly just not made for it. So I would always caution anyone who has an iPhone, do not put a 2-year-old phone with the latest software because you'll have issues. But this one is a really bad issue when it comes to battery life because of all the new features of iOS 11. It's really messing up the battery life on the older phones. Are you getting the Pixel 2 XL to review? I did reach out to Google to see if they can send us the Pixel XL 2, but we'll see if they will or not. I have purchased my own Pixel XL 2 though. I actually did the trade-in program that Pixel's doing. For those of you who don't know, I think it was, I got $400 for my old Pixel XL to trade it in for the Pixel XL 2. So that one's gonna be really good. So that's what I did for it. So basically getting it for almost half price. So really good deal for that. And so yeah, and they're also giving you a Google Home Mini for free if you pre-order the Pixel XL 2. So yes, I did get both of those. Do you have any information on the DACs in the S7, S8, Note 8? The DAC on the S7 is a 16-bit DAC. The DAC on the S8 and the Note 8 is a 32-bit DAC. Can DACs and headphone amplifiers be connected to USB Type-C ports of the mentioned? So can DACs headphone amplifiers be connected to the USB Type-C port? So here's the thing. I don't know of too many Type-C headphones. They're just not prevalent yet. Will they be eventually? It's a possibility, but as of right now, they're just not prevalent. So I don't see that happening so much for people catering towards it. Maybe in the next year, but I honestly think we're going to see more Bluetooth headphones than more Type-C headphones in the near future. Does Samsung Sync automatically back up Samsung cell phones? Yes, it does. Yeah, they wouldn't want a bad battery attached to the Samsung name. Yeah, you could definitely bet that. How do you change the avatar pic on the PS4 to a custom pic from your phone or computer, not a profile pic? I'm not sure what you're asking exactly. I don't mess with the PS4 profile pic that much. I think if you link it to Facebook, it does your profile picture from Facebook. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. But I think if you go to the website itself too, I'm trying to remember, I think if you go to the website and sign into your PlayStation account on the website, then it works too. So try that or those two things. Let's see how long it takes to get to a whole bunch of questions. Comment look. Well, there you go, Quiet Storm. I did it about 5 minutes ago. When is Samsung Galaxy Gear Sport released? You know, Samsung's been very quiet on that, and I have not heard of anything about that being released yet. I'm curious to see, but yeah, very curious to see when it will be released. Get an iPhone 8 Plus now on Apple plan, then next year you can get everything sorted out when you trade in the iPhone 9. Maybe the way to go. Yeah, you know what? I will say this. I think Apple's trade-in plans are harder and harder to find. Like, I couldn't even find it on their own website anymore. So I'm curious to see if you try to do it now, can you do it now? Or did you have to do it last year when they started it last year? But yeah, I'm really kind of curious when it comes to that, how their trade-in program, if it will still work. So yeah, just a curiosity. But I mean, you could definitely sell your iPhone. I mean, I sold my iPhone for like $450, so you know, you could definitely sell it for a good amount. Or no, I did sell. I could have probably sold it for that much, but I sold it to a friend of mine for less. I sold the Pixel XL for $450 originally, but then an eBay thing happened, and so now I'm just getting $400 for it. Where was I? Oh, iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, last of its kind from Apple collective item. No, I don't think it's a last of its kind in terms of that design. I mean, yeah, I think we're going with the iPhone X design going forward next year, but that's just me. Hold on one second. Have to get rid of someone. There we go. Sorry, I just had to block an idiot. Alright, now where was I? You know what, let me do that so I can see that more easily. Alright, Pixel Laptop. Pixel Laptop is, I feel, overpriced. I did reach out to Google again to review that one. That one I am not buying just because I don't see it worth the price. I am currently working on buying a gaming laptop this year for $1,000, let alone a Pixel machine that can't do any of my video editing, photo, all the stuff that I need a computer to do. The Pixel can't do a lot of it. Okay. How's it going, Ricky? Why is it that Apple has the same problem during their launch? They never seem to have enough phones to meet the demand of customers. no splitting iPhone. Well, right now they have plenty of iPhone 8 and 8 Pluses for the most part, but the iPhone X is a real issue here. And the reason why Apple has such a shortage, to be honest, isn't necessarily the fact that they can't make as many, it's that they don't make anything. Apple does not control the flow of the products that are made. They can only control, once they get them, how to release them. But in terms of manufacturing, Apple doesn't manufacture any hardware. That is all manufactured by third-party companies, be it Foxconn, be it Samsung, be it Sony, be it Taiwanese companies, via TSMC. You know, all these companies, they basically designate when Apple gets their products. So that is a big deal. Yeah, the next iPhones will be bezel-less for sure. I think I remember you doing this before, but how do I transfer a phone's apps and stuff to a new phone? Say my Honor 6X maybe. So how do you transfer from an old phone to a new phone? There is several ways. If the if the phone doesn't have its own transfer app, like say the Honor 6X, I found a pretty decent one is T-Mobile for transferring all of the things. It doesn't have to be a T-Mobile phone. You can just use their software and you can transfer from one phone to another. Now, here's the thing about that. If you want to have an app backup, so say an app for some stupid reason doesn't back up via the cloud, right? It doesn't back up normally through the Google Play Games account or something like that, or a game doesn't back up that way. Well, how to do that is something called Titan Backup. Titan Backup, I believe this costed $5 when I got it, like 4 years ago. But 4 years ago, my wife had a game that did not back up through cloud like every other game she had, and she was like, if you upgrade my phone, you need to fix this. So I did, and that's what I used. I'm thinking about getting the Note 8, but I'm worried about the usual Samsung lag, battery issues. Any input? Also, any news on the OnePlus 6? The OnePlus 6 will not come out till mid next year, so no thing on that yet. And I wouldn't be too worried about the Note 8 really lagging, because it still has not lagged on me at all. Not to mention that the battery life is still great. It's still by far, out of all the phones I have here, it is still the best battery life. And yes, I'm including the iPhone 8 Plus in that. Is anyone else having trouble with Bixby as far as connecting? No, I used Bixby yesterday and didn't have an issue with it, but I rarely use it. I have two friends that are using it like on a day-to-day basis because of that promotion that it has. I have one friend that literally asks Bixby questions just so he can get, like, he has like something like 15 questions that Bixby cannot answer, so he gets more points off of it. And yeah, I wonder if he's watching this. I also still want all the stuff on my other phone too, which is an S4. I know it's old. Did you hear the iPhone X will be 400 down to get it? I did not hear that it would be 400 down. That is crazy for 400 down. Jeez, but that is completely understandable, to be honest. If it's $1,000 phone, probably carriers don't want to take the payments of that, but damn, that is freaking crazy. When will your review come out for the Google Home Mini? I still have to do an unboxing for it. I just got one, so I will. That will be coming out later. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Let's see. Hey, I just recently purchased Samsung Deck Station for the Note 8. Problem is the base connector does not reach without taking off my spec case. Is there such a case that would fit? No, I have not found any case that would fit the Deck Station, and that is a very big annoyance, as you have found out. You could get a skin, maybe, like a, Skin It or D-Brand, or what's the other one? Slick Wrap, one of those. Is it true that Google and Samsung don't have a good relationship? They have a good relationship. They work together. But, I mean, look, Apple and Samsung have a working relationship. You can have a working relationship but not like certain aspects of the company. And I would say that, yeah, Samsung doesn't like that they have to pay Google for every single Android phone they sell. But, you know, and Google doesn't like that Samsung is the dominant force in Android, so that they kind of dictate a lot of how people use Android. Or the review on Google Donuts, patent pending. Google Donuts are delicious. I will say that. You recommend Google Keep. I downloaded it, love it. I have the Note 8. For reminders, is there any way to keep the sound reminder ringtone? To give a sound reminder ringtone. It only vibrates, which is less useful. Not that I know of, to be honest. Although I will say one thing I love about it is when you have a Google Home, it will do the sound. So like when I have a reminder that I did on my Google Keep on my phone, I will have that. My Google Home will chime when that reminder is set. So that's a cool new thing that just released, because reminders have only been out on Google Home for less than a month. I want to say 2 weeks at most. I saw the notification. See you guys. Hit the bell. The notification just hit my phone, so I look a whole bunch of questions just. Hi Ricky, how are you doing? I'm doing good, John. How are you? Got my Note 8 wireless charger yesterday and it sucks balls. What's wrong with it? Should have gotten the camera. Well, hey, use the wireless charger at night and you're gonna have a better battery life for the long run. I got an alert about your live stream. Oh, I just got it. Really? So you guys got it this late, even though it started a while ago? It's, by the way, it's why you've never heard me ask you guys to ring the bell. For me, it's just like, it doesn't seem to do it right away when you want it to happen. But also, it's like, you know, you guys watch these videos on your time. I would love you guys to turn this to live stream, but you know it happens the same time every week. So if you see it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday, Pacific time, and you wanna watch the show, then, you know, chime in during that time. But I always pretty much start on the dot at 8. Maybe like 2 minutes delay sometime. Do you know a solar phone charger with fast charging? No, those are two opposites, because solar charge takes forever, and fast charging would drain so quickly. So no, none that I know of. Dude, I saw you at the Google Home Mini event. I hope you said hi. I said hi to like 2 people that did recognize me. So yeah, always feel free to come up and say hi and say what's up and ask any questions. He can do it from the PS4 app. There you go. So you can change your photo from the PS4 app. Running iOS 11 on public beta on a 7 Plus with bad battery drain. Oh man, that sucks. Oh, I did say the 6 and 6S earlier, right? I completely went around the 7 Plus. The 7 Plus is still having issues. That's really bad, because that shouldn't be. It should not have as bad of an issue as compared to the 6S and 6 phones. Is Lookout worth keeping on your phone? No. Get rid of Lookout right now. Like, I literally want you to stop watching this stream, get rid of Lookout, and then follow, and then come back on the stream. Where's the bike video? You'll never see it if you didn't get the notification before. Samsung Dex YouTube app only viewable in the upper left corner. Any ideas? I have honestly not used Dex. That video is coming for the Note 8. So I've not used Dex since the S8. Just haven't cared to use it and have had a lot of things going on. So I think I said this last week, but I got in an accident, so now I'm having to get my car fixed and all this kind of stuff. Don't worry, I'm fine and everything. But because of that, it's taken up a lot more time, and I haven't done a lot of the videos that I wanted to. So that will get back on track this week. I used to be able to store passwords, etc. on my notes, so I pressed and held 1, for example, and populated the field. How do I do this on my Note 8, Ricky? I have not used a Samsung keyboard, which is how you did that before. Let me take a look real quick and see if I can see it on here. Keyboard, where are you? Samsung keyboard. Predictive text, no. Swipe gesture, feedback size. It looks like at least on my S8 Plus, or sorry, on my S8 Plus, on my Note 8 International, you cannot do it on this phone. That part is taken off. Or no, wait. It should be under predictive text, but it's grayed out. I'm not sure if that's just because I don't have this on. I would have to look into it. I don't use the Samsung keyboard, but if you go to the Samsung keyboard, text shortcuts are there, but mine is grayed out. So I don't have the time to look to exactly see it right now. But under smart typing, predictive text, it's there. I just type in predictive text. Predictive. Why do I say predictive? No. So if you go under Samsung keyboard, there is predictive text on there. So yeah, I don't know why I can't speak today. Need more coffee, that's why. Hey man, do you think the HTC 11 Plus will rival the likes of the Pixel XL to V30 and such? To be honest, most likely not. HTC has to do something big for it to change, and I don't see that happening, at least this year. Maybe next year we can get something really different from them, but this year they hit 2 duds, and yeah. The best thing they contributed was to the Pixel phone, the squeeze technology. That was the best thing HTC did this year. Is the always-on display good for the Samsung Note 8? Will it waste battery? It wastes about 2% battery life. So, no, not that much. I would say it's well worth keeping on for me. I love looking at it and just seeing the time right away and seeing any notifications I have. The iPhone X display will be a Samsung display, and it will cost Apple $142. Yes, it will. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Whoa, really, a lot of questions actually just loaded. Okay, I'm trying to find out where we... Okay, there we are. Samsung will make billions off of the iPhone X. Yes, it will. Because it's not only making the screen, it's making more money on the screen, but it's also making the processor, the RAM, the battery, and the antennas. The more you know. I want to get a phone, but I don't know if I want the Pixel XL or the V30. What do you think about both? In that scenario, as of right now, if you had to ask me which one I am more excited to get, I would say the Pixel XL 2. V30 is an interesting phone, but right now, besides the wider angle lens, that's the best feature of it, I would say. And other than that, I'm hearing good things, but not the greatest things. Unfortunately, I still haven't got my review unit from LG. They've kind of lagged on that, so waiting. But you guys saw, like, I didn't get my G6 till, like, what was it, almost 2 months after launch? So, yeah. I've been getting Bixby errors every day. I can't connect. I would reset Bixby if you keep getting the errors. Is anyone in Australia using Bixby? I can't understand this thing. It can't understand the thing we say. I'm very curious on that. Wow, really? A bunch of you are having Bixby problems. I'm not having it, but I only use the voice, so that's all I use. I don't use anything else. Since a lot of people just came in, briefly go over mobile news. With Google Assistant, when adding a calendar event and saving the event, it always asks me between my Google Calendar and another calendar on the app, another calendar app by tapping which app I want to use. That's interesting because for me, Well, actually, to be fair, I don't have another calendar app, so for me, it always just saves to my Google Calendar. Do you need the other calendar app? I would maybe delete it, and maybe that's just going to solve it for you more easily. If I buy the US Snapdragon version of the Note 8, would it work in other countries who have GSM or 4G network? Yes, it will. I am quite a traveler, and I would like to confirm that before buying. I can tell you personally, I did take my Note 7 last year all across Europe to England, France, Italy, and Spain. It worked in all 4 countries, no problem. And those are GSM countries. CDMA countries in Asia, I am not positive on, but as far as I know, it has every band for Asia, so it should be fine, depending on whatever country you go to. I would look in Google Assistant. Let me see. If I go under the Google Home app, so if you go under the Google Home app, is there a way to do the default thing there like you do? Devices, account preferences, email notification, media accounts. You can choose which music as your default. My Day. See, My Day can tell me certain things, but it doesn't ask me which account, just because I only have one account. So I'm not sure if under My Day on the Google Home app that would be it. Or let me see with the Google Assistant itself. Settings. Nothing that I can see here, at least really quickly, under the Google Assistant, because you have preferences, but nothing to the degree of your calendar that I see, at least off the top of my head. Whoa, whole bunch of questions just loaded while I was looking down. Read that one. Is the new Gear S3 Frontier Toomey Special Edition worth it? If you want that design, but that's it. There's no special benefit to it besides that design. Any suggestion for edge-to-edge screen protector on the iPhone 8 Plus that is case compatible? I would say my best one for curved glass has been Bodyguard or Bodyguard. Bodyguards, that would be the best one I would say for curved glass. I have not tested it on the iPhone 8 personally, but that one I would say is probably the best one I would recommend. Did you watch 60 Minutes tonight? No, I did not. What was it about? How do you change the sounds for the S Pen for the Note 8? Get, what is it called? Pen Buddy or Note Buddy? What was that app, guys? Pen Buddy or Note Buddy? I want to say it was Note Buddy. Yep, Note Buddy. Get Note Buddy. It's a free app you can download. Has Google created a fix for the Chrome browser yet? What's the issue with Chrome browser? I have about 30 of them open right now. What's the issue? Why does wireless charging prolong battery life? So there's a very scientific reason for it. I literally was in a manufacturer's battery plant when they explained this to me, and even I can't re-explain everything to it, but the simple way to think about it is the charge and the voltage is a lot less, so that you're going to get a much less, it's going to harm the battery less. But the biggest part about it is the fact that, you know, you always want that sweet spot of 80%, right? Between 20 and 80% is where your battery is supposed to be maintained throughout the time. And phones do cycle counts to help with that. But that causes some other issues. It prolongs the battery, but not as long as wireless charging prolongs it. Simple answer is it also creates less heat, so that is going to be a better way too, because the hotter your phone gets, the worse your battery cycle count is. That's the easy answer. I'd never go into the long one because even I would have to talk to the guys again to re-understand it when they were telling me everything about it. It's something that manufacturers do not talk about too publicly, apparently, because they don't want people to know their batteries can actually and do actually go bad. It's just a sensitive subject from what they told me. Ricky, what's the meaning of life? 42. Was that it? Was it 42 or 41? Hey Google, what's the meaning of life?
It's somewhere between 41 and 43.
42. So when iOS 11... By the way, how many Google Homes did I just set off? I just want to know that. So when iOS 11 is optimized, do you expect it to beat the Note 8 in speed test? I don't think so, to be honest. So we are at a crossroads here, which is a very interesting crossroads. iPhone fanboys and Android fanboys have switched places from a couple of years ago. And I'm going to go on a tech rant about this, but I think it's very interesting now. Or not a tech rant, but just a discussion video about this. And that is that 2 years ago, Apple fanboys were like, benchmarks are stupid. Benchmarks don't mean anything. They're worthless. They don't mean anything. It doesn't matter how good your benchmark score is. What matters is the day-to-day usage. Okay, fair enough. Android users were like, look, benchmark scores, the iPhone cannot keep up with any benchmark scores. When it comes to raw horsepower, Android is where it's at. Day-to-day usage is negligible. No one will notice it. Those have now reversed. Why? Because Apple is now killing it in benchmarks, but under speed test comparisons, side by side, apps closing and opening and all that kind of stuff, the Note 8 outclassed the iPhone 8 Plus. And the iPhone X is the exact same processor, RAM, everything as the iPhone 8 Plus. So we're completely opposite now. It's a very interesting time, and I'm going to discuss that more in a video. That's a little taste of it, though. Did you order the LG V30 yet? No, I did not order it. Honestly, it just wouldn't be worth it for me to pay for that phone full price, and it's compared to the amount of views the phone would get. Can we expect the Samsung to release 3 phones January, S9, S9 Plus, and Galaxy X? No, you cannot. The Galaxy X might be a phone by itself, or it will be at the same time as the Note 9. The S9 and S9 Plus will come out February at the earliest, not January. I love my Google Home. People make calls and complain about not hearing me well. Fix. Google is getting better at that. This month they're making a lot of tweaks to the calls, so just wait. Wow. All right. Hope. Hope the car isn't too badly banged up. No, just the person was an idiot. With what should I replace Lookout? Really, here's the thing. If you have like a Samsung phone, it comes with the internet security software that you can get, fine, if you really want it. But as long as you don't download illegal apps, black market apps and all that kind of stuff, you will not get a virus on Android. 99.97. That means 0.03% of all viruses on Android can be actually got on the Play Store, whereas 99.97 of them are outside the Play Store. So you are almost not likely at all to ever get a virus on the Play Store. But if you're going to, download FrostWire and those kind of things, then yeah, sure, go ahead, get, virus protection, whatever one you want. They're all the same. And in terms of finding your phone if it's lost, you actually have something built into the phone called Android Device Manager. If you have a Google account on your phone right now, you can actually go onto any computer type in Android Device Manager, and you can find this phone and you can deactivate it, or you can actually just lock it however you want, but you can find it right away as long as it has an internet connection, or it'll give you the last position where the internet connection was, and if someone tries to turn it on, it'll wipe itself out if you selected to do so. I saw the video and I should have downloaded it. What video? I'm not sure. What should I replace Lookout with? Yeah, I already went over that. So I appreciate you answering my question, Ricky. This is great. Free advice. Don't be surprised if the questions are flowing in. Respect for doing this. Yeah, no problem. Why my virtual Samsung keyboard doesn't predictive text even though I had turned on the setting already? Thank you. No, mine was like that too. I don't use Samsung keyboard. I literally download SwiftKey. That's the first app I download to replace Samsung. So I do not know. It's funny enough that actually features on the iPhone too. It's part of our hidden features video. But yeah, I would have to look into it more. I don't know off the top of my head because I don't use a Samsung keyboard anymore. Have you gotten live messages to work on the S8? No, not to work on the S8. I can send it to my wife from the Note 8 to Note 8, but I have not used it on the S8. Please don't make a video on how to pre-order from Apple until October 27th. On how to pre-order? Don't make a... Why? Because then it'll get more people to watch it? Question. I just got the Note 8, but why when I try to send a video or text, it tells me it's too big, and I have always used Apple, first time on Android. You need to check out our video on the 10 hidden features for the Note 8 so you can learn about link sharing. Link sharing allows you to send up to a 2 gig video file via text message, but you have to do it that way. You can't just jump right to text messaging. When you share, you have to use link sharing. If you don't have link sharing come up, it's because you don't have a Samsung account. So you want to get a Samsung account and then use link sharing, and then you can send it to an iPhone user, you can send it to whoever the hell you want, up to a 2 gig file. That's bigger than iMessage actually allows for. So hopefully that will help you out. Watch out our 10 hidden feature video to get a step-by-step on that. I did not see the S8 Plus overclock, smashing all rival phones at 100,000 benchmark points. I mean, sure, why not? After the update, my mom's iPhone 7 was quit working. How do I fix? Unfortunately, you always have to wait until Apple releases a new update. Or get a new one, which is what they want you to do. Are there advantages and disadvantages between the Exynos and Snapdragon versions of the Note 8? Nothing too dramatic. The Exynos typically lasts a little bit longer in battery life. The graphics is typically better on the Note 8 US on the Snapdragon version. Is face recognition on the iPhone X a success? Will they bring back the home button? Yes, the home button will be back next year under the display, but it will be under the display as a fingerprint scanner. So yeah, it's still going to be like the haptic feedback, I think, kind of thing. In terms of, I still believe they'll do that, but maybe if people like the gesture so much, they might not. But I guarantee that will be a talk of what they will do next year. Bixby voice needs more voice styles to select. The 3 basic voices suck. Yeah, I agree. Do I post questions here? Yes, you do. Wow. Whole bunch of questions just loaded. My question may have been asked many times before. Still, I would like an expert opinion on it. That is, should I get a Gear VR 2016 with USB Type-C adapter for my S8 Plus? So that will work, right? Yes, that will work. But I would recommend getting the new Gear VR, as it's compatible with the Note 8 and backwards compatible. The reason why, you have a greater chance of it working for future phones, as the model from the 2016 version will work with your SA Plus, but it's not going to work with a lot of others that come out next year. So I would just get the latest version, to be honest, but that's my opinion. Facebook on 60 Minutes. Oh, that's an interesting one with everything going on with Facebook right now. How to make Android TouchWiz ask what to open instead of making you choose the default one on the opening choice. How do you make them ask what to open instead of making you choose? With some apps they don't let you do it. I mean, at the end of the day, you go to default, you can go to apps and then app defaults in settings, and see which ones you can change, but some you cannot. So yeah. I love the LG G4 screw Apple. Who cares about the iPhone? A lot of people care. Chrome crashes all on all of my Samsung products. Are you talking about on the phones? I use Chrome Beta. It's never crashed on me. But yeah. Chrome Beta basically allows me to have access to newer things that Chrome is testing out. So maybe they've already fixed the issues on Chrome Beta, but it hasn't come out to regular Chrome yet. Maybe. Hey Ricky, which do you prefer? Stock Android Oreo or the current Note 8 version of TouchWiz, and why? I greatly prefer Samsung's version of TouchWiz compared to stock Android Oreo. And I know I'm in the minority with that, and a lot of people will say like they're a purist, they like stock Android. And I respect and understand that. But I like the notifications panel way better from Samsung. Samsung's split screen is far superior than Google's split screen. Google's split screen, you cannot move the app halfway this way. It's basically in the middle or nothing at all. That's how Google's split screen is, which is garbage in my opinion. So yeah, I can play, for those reasons alone, I prefer Samsung's version. And I get basically a very stock experience with my OnePlus 5, so I get that kind of feel all the time. But overall, yeah, I would prefer Samsung's version. Why are my phones staticky? I'm not sure what you were saying there. Just bought a Note 8 for my wife, and she is a longtime iPhone user. How can I make it look more like iOS? I mean, you have third-party apps for the Note that can completely make your phone look like iOS. You can download a third-party launcher that has a very iOS look. Like you can just type in probably iPhone 8 or iPhone X or iOS 11, and there's a launcher created for it. But also you can change themes in your phone, and the themes you can download will make the icons look like iOS. And you can even download an app that does the control center, which we did a video for that years ago, and yeah, there's new updated ones that look just like the control center, so she can swipe up and have a control center there. So all that stuff is possible on Android. Can I use a first-gen Samsung wireless charger to wirelessly charge my Note 8? Yes, but it is slower charging. Great for overnight. How to make Android TouchWiz? Oh, I already answered that. Thoughts for Huawei Mate 10? I'm very curious to hear about it. And yeah, just love to see how it's going to go down. But yeah, I think there are announcements next week if I'm not mistaken. Hey bud, first time on the live. How do I join your giveaways? So our giveaways is in the link in the description. It is a Patreon giveaway. So how the giveaways work is, a long time ago I wanted to do more giveaways, but honestly, YouTube is currently my only form of income right now, which isn't that much. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm doing odd jobs here and there to get more income, but at the end of the day, I still want to do giveaways. So what I do is, thanks to my patrons, they donate money. I think we're around $85 right now, or maybe 90 almost now. Say $90. We're up to $90. I spend about $150 and buy at least 2 products, and then give them away to the patrons. So basically, if I have, I think what are we right now at? I think 40 patrons right now. So out of the 40 patrons that donate, basically they have a 1 in 40 shot of winning a prize. And honestly, every single month I think we've had new prize winners. So yeah, I give them, I buy the product so I can review them, show them on my channel, and that's how it benefits me. And then I give them right back to you guys that basically help donate. So that's how the giveaways work on this channel. Every 100,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway for everyone. So that does not require any kind of donation or patron or kind of thing like that. But that's at every 100,000. And again, if I have, as soon as I get a day-to-day job again, that might change or things like that along the line. But I try to do the best I can with the giveaways that I currently can do. The design of the foldable phone, the one you didn't like that much, maybe it was a foldable Note, compassionate to S Pen, compressed in the S Pen. That's a very interesting concept. Maybe. What's your take on downloading APKs? They get sent to your phone by your carrier. Don't do it. Any news? Any new phones from ZTE? The Axon is getting old. They are having an event actually on the 17th of October. So next week they are having an event. So we're going to hear from ZTE very soon. When I click into the gallery very often, I get a damn app which thinks it is from Google. It plays for 5 seconds and unavoidable. That is an app you downloaded, definitely. So just try to remove apps. You can also go into safe mode. If you Google whatever your phone is, how do I go into safe mode on the Note 8, or how do I go into safe mode on the S5, or whatever it is, it will tell you step by the button sequence you need to do it. And what safe mode is it gets rid of all third-party apps, so you can find out and see if it does it without that. And if it does it if it doesn't do it anymore, it means it is an app you downloaded, and just deleting the apps until you find which one it is. Any advice on what kind of screen protector is suitable for what kind of case with a Note 8? Again, bodyguards are probably the best one I would recommend for a screen protector. I did not test it on the Note 8, but it was the best one for the S8 Plus. Is there a way to load disk stick? I'm not sure what that is. To load on the Note 8. I'm not sure if that's an app or what is that. Are you just saying dis? Got it. If you're small enough, then yeah, you can do it. Can you change Hello Bixby trigger to just Bixby? It can go by just Bixby, but when I did it, people were saying like, you know, you can just say Bixby, you don't have to say Hey Bixby. It didn't work for me when I just said Bixby. I had to say Hey Bixby for it to understand. Hey Ricky, the clock in the background still isn't working. Yes it is, because it helps me brand for the time of 1:16. Duh. You thought this wasn't on purpose? You thought that I didn't have this planned all along? You may be right. Saw your video on how to get Action Memo back on the Note 8, but when the site said you have to download the OB, it didn't explain on how to find it. So unfortunately, Action Memo has now been killed by Samsung. They basically removed it in all versions of it. So I don't believe you can get Action Memo anymore, unfortunately. Hey Ricky, Note 8 versus LG V30. I have an S8 Plus now, want to change. What do you advise? I read the V30 is louder with great specs. What do you think? The Note 8 is faster than the V30. That RAM really does go a long way. And it's brighter than the V30. However, the V30 does have the wider lens, so if you do want to go with that, that's really good for it. But again, without testing the V30, I can't say exactly which one you should go for. The V30 is louder and it has a better DAC as well, so that's all I can say. Be real honest. Okay, real honest. If the S8 Plus if I have the S8 Plus, should I upgrade to the Note 8 or wait for the S9 Plus? I don't care about the S Pen. So I am so happy I upgraded from the S8 Plus to the Note 8. I did that this year. I had the S8 Plus and I upgraded to the Note 8. Why am I happy? Well, I said that in the reasons. I think it was our video on I think it was something like S8 versus Note 8, which one is better? And I went through the steps and the reasons why it was much better for me, but it might not be better for other people. But check that video out for a more in-depth comparison. But here's the thing. The RAM, definitely better. The camera is better. You can see side-by-side photo comparisons. It completely destroyed the S8 Plus. Now, the S8 Plus might get a software update, but I go over that and why that might not be realistic. So, overall, for most people, I would say you should wait till the S9 Plus, especially if it comes out in February, like the rumors are currently saying. But in no way do you really need to upgrade if you don't really feel like you're going to benefit from those things. But in the video I go more in depth on it, but that's just, I would be definitely interested to see how many people would really be the same as me, where I am so happy I upgraded, compared to other people that might be like, I didn't really need to upgrade. So I think it's a strong variation in that. I think they only let you send 2 gigs a day, not at once link, because I tried to send a video over 1 gig and it wouldn't let me, just to let you know. Okay, I will admit I haven't needed to send bigger than 1 big file per day, but I have sent a 1.5 gig file just to see if I could, and it did work. I have the international version, so all things being equal. Google earbuds for the UN. I don't think they're there yet. I think Google earbuds, the Pixel Buds, are a great start. I already did order them, so I will be getting them mid-November is when they're coming out. So I will be getting them as soon as possible. But yeah, that's where I can't wait for. You have Android Oreo on the Note 8. Was not aware. Oh no, sorry. I thought you said which one do I prefer, Oreo or the Note 8. No, I do not have Oreo. I thought you meant like, you know, Android TouchWiz or how it is stock Android Oreo. I do not have Oreo on the Note 8 yet. It's only being tested for the S8 Plus right now and the S8. No beta testing is for the Note 8 yet, which is what I'm waiting for. Hey Ricky, do you make an app to enhance the sound quality when you connect the auxiliary cord from your car to your Note 8? I actually connect mine through Bluetooth, but one thing you can do is actually use, if you're using the Note 8, Samsung actually has something called adaptive sound. If you go into settings, sound and vibrations, go all the way to the bottom, and sound quality effects, and then adaptive sound is at the very bottom. Adaptive sound is at the very bottom right here. This will give you the best sound quality out of any third party. I think this is going to be the best way for you because it caters towards the way you hear, so nothing's better than that. What would happen if you wirelessly charge and plug in at the same time? The plug takes over, so yeah, you can't do both. If I can open all my apps, I can't pair any 2 apps. If I can open all my apps, why can't I pair any 2 apps? Are there certain ones I can currently pair? As far as I know, yes, but you can download a third-party app that just allows you to pair any apps, so you don't have to just use Samsung's version. What's different from the Note in the iPhone network? I'm not sure what you mean. What's different from the Note in the iPhone network? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Loving my Note 8. Should I go ahead and get the Gear VR? I never done VR before. I think it's really a cool thing and fun at times, but I mean, I've worn out my VR. That's why I'm more looking forward to like the new Samsung Odyssey I talked about earlier today. Because for me, I do want better quality and I want more support. But the Gear VR is great. I still think it's one of the best things for plane rides. So if I would travel a lot, I would still probably use my VR more. But I have not upgraded my VR yet, and I had the VR from earlier this year that was released with the S8 Plus, which does not work for my Note 8. Hey Ricky, I want to know if there's any updates on the S9. Not yet. We'll probably hear more about the S9 updates in late November and early December. The frequencies they are using for 5G are making dogs bark. Oh yeah, that's one of the 5G frequencies was making dogs bark, but it was more the machines that were actually doing it than the frequency itself. How does one prevent screen burning from coming onto your screen very early on the S8 Plus? I would say do not turn it past the red brightness. So, you know when you go all the way to the blue brightness, so that blue line, as soon as it turns red, that's your screen burn-in possibility. So if you keep it at blue, you won't have screen burn-in. It's not as bright, but you know it's still like 800 brightness instead of like the 1000 brightness plus that it can get. Did it cost much to send the giveaway prizes? Sorry if mine did. I'm actually sending them all tomorrow. I'm still waiting on some people for their to send me their information, and I do want to send them all at once instead of going to the store every day to ship off different things. Does Google Gboard send all keystrokes to Google, including credit card numbers? Is it safe to use? Credit card numbers are not recorded on Google Keyboard. Basically, when a credit card information is pulled up, their recording software is basically taken off for things like that. For any kind of field that's specific to like a certain, they understand number. Basically, most number ones are disabled, to be honest, for that purpose. Overall, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much. Google doesn't care about keeping anything unless it's for advertising purposes. They don't care about keeping any any personal information that they can't sell to advertisers. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. It's 9:14 over there, so Netflix time is approaching. Oh yes, I see what you're saying. Yes, my wife does get mad if I go over too late with the show. Because she cannot use streaming services for that. What is your opinion on the easiest way to do a screenshot on the Note 8? I still do power and volume down. If I want a specific area, then I'll pull the S Pen out and do Smart Select, but that's the way I'll do it for the most part. What tablet would you suggest now? For Android, the Tab S3 is probably one of the best ones still. That's the one I have. And for iPhone, I would probably get the iPad. If you want an inexpensive one, the iPad Mini, the last one that was released, and if not, the iPad Pro, the smaller one. I've been using a different fast chargers, but I don't think they are. But I think they are slow to charge. May perhaps per hour is considered fast. How many milliamps per hour? I don't know. Your phone should charge in about 90 minutes with a Samsung fast charger. Hey, did you set up the Google Home Mini you won? No, I have not yet. I literally, I got home, and me and my wife spent time together, so I haven't had time to do it. Hey Ricky, when I plug in my charger, my phone gets hot. What do I do to prevent that? I mean, it gets hot with direct connections, definitely. That is fast charging. But yeah, what the main thing I honestly always recommend do is, I know we hate plastic, but plastic, rubber, and cases prevent heat better than glass and metal do. Like, a lot of iPhone users are complaining that their phones are getting hotter now on the iPhone 8 than the iPhone 7 did, and it's because of that. It's because of the fact that yes, you are having metal and glass, and that is hotter than just having different materials that could absorb heat better. I'm going deaf, and are the headphones that come with the Note 8 not that loud? Coming from using an iPhone, stock headphones, and iPhone user, any advice? They are loud, but I wouldn't say like extremely loud. The iPhone itself, no, not on the Note 8. The Note 8 had a pretty good DAC actually. Last year, the S7 DAC was horrible comparing to the iPhone, and the iPhone headphones really were louder. But this year, no, I would say maybe got a bad issue with it. Do Qualcomm fast chargers charge the Note 8 at the same speed that the Samsung adaptive fast chargers come with the phone? No, Samsung fast adaptive chargers charge faster than Qualcomm chargers do. Qualcomm, the Note 8 and the S8 only support Qualcomm 2.0, but Samsung's fast adaptive charge proprietary technology charges faster than 2.0 and less fast than 3.0. So yes, Samsung chargers will charge faster. Alright guys, I think we will call that a show. We're going to have lots of videos coming out this week, some on the Note 8. We have the iPhone 8 hidden features video coming out too, so the 10 hidden features for that phone. A lot of hidden features, and we already have the how to speed up and how to save battery life on the iPhone, so that one came out already. And we are going to do how to get unlimited photo backup and video backup for the iPhone as well. So hopefully you did like this video. If you did, before you leave, make sure to give a like, thumbs up. It always helps out the channel. Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells you. Thanks again.